And welcome again. It's time for the papers this morning. It's a Thursday, and we have them right here with us. You might want to join, or perhaps maybe pick one after you've heard the headlines that will be reeling out for you. I've got with me Mr. Mike Misakeno in his Kangol hat.
Okay.
Once again,
let's make it happen.
Welcome. Let's do this. Let's start from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, and we have this very interesting big headline here. Coup attempt: ECOWAS sends mission to Niger Republic. Residents protest as EU, France, AU condemn military takeover. It's long time coming, diplomats say. Move can affect Nigeria's security architecture, say experts know. So this concerns us.
No longer an attempt.
It's no longer, exactly. I was wondering if it, why call it an
success.
attempt? Because there was an address by the, I don't call them corporates, no, not corporates, by the, well, the military officials.
The military officials and all of that, and they've officially stated that they have taken control of government. And all that. So they are neighbors. I mean, we share a border with them, and I can understand why somebody would say that there is a problem with our security architecture might have some issues. The agitation is security and a number of things, but whichever way, we know that no matter how justified their what they need is, but their actions are not justifiable. Democracy has been entrenched.
Yeah,
to find a way to sort out things through democracy and all of that.
And of course,
yes, and our president, of course, being the president of ECOWAS, he spoke because this was a bit expected. Signs were already there, and he spoke about the zero tolerance to coups in West Africa. But I think that a delegation has been sent, and they have to talk, find a way to sort this out.
Think that's going to have any positive outcome?
Maybe most of the time, I hope they're reasonable enough to say, okay, maybe we want a government that will listen to the people, so maybe we want to hold the power for a time.
In an African setting, it's been very rare that you have, quote-unquote, reasonable military takeovers. The intentions might be authentic, but then again, when it comes back to throwing it back into a democratic hand, that rarely happens. Well, it does, but very, very after a very long time. Still more headlines on the Daily Trust before we move over to your headlines. Bandits kill 7 soldiers. Award head 28 farmers in Zamfara Bauchi. Labour issues 7-day strike notice, urges FG to reverse anti-masses policies. This is still on the front page of the Daily Trust. And diphtheria, Bauchi shuts down schools as 5 students die. Very, very sad news there. At the very bottom for Daily Trust.
That's the one.
Resident doctors strike, cripples health services nationwide. Critically ill patients turned back. Others discharged, stranded. I don't want to go back and talk about this, but we have to. Situation, strike as our first option each time, especially when it comes to the medical sector.
See that part that says critically ill?
Yeah.
Patients stand back, some will die.
Definitely, that happens.
I don't know what to say, how to say about this, but let Nigerian healthcare not happen to you.
Yeah, nice way to put it. What paper do you have?
Oh, man. Okay, so let's see. The Guardian here. We can see here, Thursday, 27th of July, Tinubu toes familiar part as ministers may not resume till September. Of course, there was a delay from the House
for the list,
for the list and all of that. So we don't know how that one will come out too. We have here Niger Coup. ECOWAS global community won't tolerate threats to democracy, says Tinubu. Nigeria orders risk losing U.S. market over uneven AGOA utilization. ISWAP targets headers and kills 27 in Borno. NLC insists on August 2nd nationwide protest over rising hardship and anti-poor policies. NBA, Ubani Fano. Others knock DSS over disgraceful conduct. I think that had to do with the past governor of the central bank. That's Godwin Emefiele. Where
that was rather uncouth. That was
I mean,
disturbing and embarrassing display of uniformed men.
Officers of the correction service, which is the prison, and the DSS. It wasn't. It doesn't make for good viewing,
especially with the court involved. After an order had been given in the courtroom,
in the courthouse,
to take place was rather disturbing.
It makes the whole thing so okay. So what's happening on there? I remember one of the first things that the president did when he came into power was to quell the crisis. I think that was EFCC and DSS.
Yes.
At one point concerning a building, and said, look, the security forces should not be seen to be, have skirmishes and all of that. Especially when you're trying to make it open. Come, let's talk. Get your heads. What is it? Let's sort it out.
You would think that with the new security chiefs in place now, that would be a reason for cohesion.
Yeah,
with
there
all
should
the-
be. There
all
should be
the,
cohesion when we're talking about security framework.
Well, let's see how
in a
far
country.
that goes. That was a buzzing story online yesterday. Let's move on now to the Nation newspaper here. Big headline here as we read El Rufai, Wike, Oyetola, Alake, Fagbemi make ministers list. Edu Pate Adelabu Beta Edu also nominated by President. At the top for the Nation, strike. Give government more time. President tells Labour. It's not up to 100 days yet, but a lot of queries have been coming the way of the presidency currently regarding the hardships that Nigerians are going to. 100 days in office is often the time where most presidents mark their achievements in that short time. If you take a look at what the foreign agencies or foreign nations are saying about the Nigerian situation currently, they seem to be applauding it. But inside of Nigeria, with people who are suffering through, the individuals, the citizens, it's a totally different story.
Sure.
So where do we exactly plot the graph and say there is achievement here or there needs to be work done there?
There's just so much to be done.
Too many in the
So
system.
much to be done and all of
Yeah.
that. Hopefully this phase passes through.
Yeah.
You know.
More headlines here. Federal varsities remain tuition-free, says presidency. That's relief. An American proposes marriage to a Chibok girl in the U.S.
Yeah,
That's,
I saw that. Happy for her.
encouraging.
She has found love. I mean, coming from that kind of background or that kind of experience and over to this one, she's seen
That's
both
a
sides of
delightful
life.
story. It is. Finally, we reject threat to democracy in Niger Republic, says Tinubu. Restore constitutional order, says ECOWAS, UN, AU, US, EU, and others. We've talked about this from before. That's it for the Nation newspaper. You've got one more?
Okay, maybe just a punch. Tinubu pleads for more time as NLC issues strike notice. There should be some sort of come to a compromise. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. National Assembly to unveil ministerial list today. Akpabio's aide. IPOB, Senate to work for Ekpa's extradition, says Kale's pro-Kanu motion. APC crisis deepens as Lukman resigns and blames president. That news, of course, was breaking. Niger President supporters protest. AU, ECOWAS condemn coup plot. Mass burial. NSAS coalition demands DNA mapping and compensation. Daredevil daylight robbers return to Lagos streets.
dear.
You know, you had mentioned about that because
yeah,
of the situation of the
crimes.
country, crime would rise.
Yeah. And it's very petty, very ridiculous. Now things that are, you know, we've had this conversation. It's very sad. Any other one? Any
So
last
hopefully the security agencies get to do more and all of that. And then Musa, there's a story about footballer Musa, the captain of the national team, who sells fuel at his petrol station in Kano State for 580 naira.
Which is, it ought to be more than that in
Yes.
Kano State, yeah.
Much lower. So here he's giving a reason why he does so. And I would want people to go take a read page, it says page 10. Page 10.
Page 10 on that,
You can
yeah.
check it out. So
Page
that's
30
about-
actually, page
Page 30. That's talking about Ahmed Musa, the captain of the Super Eagles.
Well, that's encouraging, at least in all of this, everything that we're going through, there's one person or a few people who actually have, well, consideration in mind for everybody and the suffering that we're going through. Well, thank you very much for sticking with us for the papers. You might want to pick one up and tell us what you think. Use the hashtag WakeUpNiger on TVC. We love to read from you guys. We have other things happening inside of our kitchen where we have alien life form and our chef in there. Our resident Evian, could you tell us, that's Winfrey, by the way, what's happening in there?